Hi, this is Steve Sliwa, your volunteer webmaster for the TMGA website. What I'd like to talk about today is the use of quotes or quoting in forums. Forums is a key way that we exchange information among members, and quoting is a way where we keep track of what people said and make it easy conversations to report on. So let's go ahead and take a look. There's lots of cool ways to do quoting inside of forums. So let's go over to the community here, and I'll select forums. And I'll go into hangar flying. And I'm going to go ahead and pick out the first one here because it has a number of different posts in here. And normally what happens, I would read through this post, this thread or topic as it's called. And then if I start and apply to this topic, the natural tendency is to think I'm responding to the last comment that was made in that topic. So, but what if I really want to make a comment on the first one up here? Well, no problem. Push the quote button. Now you go back down to the reply, and there it quoted the whole entry. But maybe in this particular case, I want to just respond to a portion of it. So what I'm going to do is delete out this initial part here so it looks like this. Then I can go ahead and add my comment and say something like, good point, let's discuss more after data comes out, for example. Just something. I can attach pictures, etc., all the normal tools that you want. I can go ahead and highlight this here, make it bold, the usual kinds of things. Submit reply. I'll go back and delete that later so that deck officer doesn't get confused. But now let's say I've come over here. Another way to do just a part. Let's say I'm looking here and I say right here, but since the enter is 12.9, would that be the limit? So I'm going to push that. Now notice it says, quote this. A little button shows up there. I'm going to show you here. It says, quote this. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that button. And you can see what happened. It took that little snippet, put it into the quote, said deck officer said that, says, and I can go ahead and start typing. This is another subquote. I like to use this. Submit reply. I'll go and delete that later. But now let's say there's a bunch of things I want to do. And let's say there's several comments that seem to relate. So I push this plus button up here. Oops. Up here, what you see if I hover, it says multi-quote. So I'm going to push this one here. And down over here, it says it highlights quote one post. Then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to quote this one and do plus here. Boom. Now it comes over here and it says two quotes. Then I'm going to come over here and take this one here. I'm going to do quote again. Now I come down over here and it says three quotes. So I'm done now. So I'm going to go ahead down to my reply. It's got this big reply here. And I'm going to go ahead and push on this button here. Now you can see all three quotes were put into this area here. And it has them all listed right in order. And I can easily just respond to this one. You know, good point, but I like your point below better. And I can go ahead and I can edit this if I want, make it shorter. Then over here, I could say, get rid of this one and put that here. And I can come over here, make that shorter and say, I think this is the crux of the matter. And then I can come down here and say, add something else. Okay, so now I've put in three different quotes. I've edited it down to what I want, and it's all in one thing, and they all relate. I can put submit reply. So hopefully this will give you a feeling of different ways you can use quotes. There's even a couple of others in there that you can play with. but it makes it a really nice way to be able to have a conversation and refer to different parts of the conversation and keep track of what you're talking about. I hope you found this helpful, and I look forward to seeing you online.